Right. So we have an ad break running for another 20 seconds. So I'll be right with you. Here we go. Hello and welcome. So I just realized I reinstalled my computer the other day. So when I was about to start streaming, I didn't have OBS installed and I didn't have any microphone software and I didn't have a lot of stuff. So I had to set it up all real quick and I really hope it'll work. If it doesn't, I hope you have some understanding. So I've been doing this Tesla module on my stream for, well, actually the last year or so. And I think it's actually working fairly well. And a few weeks ago, I started to use that module to create some automation for my car. So my end goal here is to create a take-off button for my Tesla. So I'm basically gonna have one of these like airspace buttons where you lift up a cap and you press a button. And when I do that, the button will have a microcomputer inside of it and it will talk to my API in Azure, and my API will connect to my car and orchestrate some stuff. So today I'm going to keep on working on that orchestration. And I hope you bear with me and have a great time. Don't hesitate to say something in the chat if you wonder of anything or think you have a good idea of any of the problems I face. So this is the code for my orchestration. Let's blow this up a bit. Something like this. And I think we'll just live with this being small. So this is Visual Studio Code, and I've created this Azure Function code. So this is basically just some folders with some PowerShell code in it. It might be hard to see because it's quite small, but there are some Azurite config files here. Nothing, so that's just like a Azure emulator for storage. So we don't need to care about those. We have a host setting. This is settings for my app. And then we have some folders up here. Each folder here is a function, basically. I've chosen to name them by what they're doing. So I have action functions, which are doing something, an action. I have a client function, which is the one that we will call when we want to start something. Then I have a modules folder, which contains my Tesla module. And I have my orchestration folder, which contains my orchestration logic. So nothing too complex. I'm going to look at the client function first. So each of these folders has two files. There's a function.json and a PowerShell script. In each function.json, there is some configuration about how this function should be configured. And I actually see that I've missed something here. So I'm just going to copy this part. So in the end here, I can add a script file, and I'm going to call this client prepare take off.ps1. And that allows me to actually rename this run.ps1 to client prepare takeoff. And that will just make it a little bit easier for me when I have a lot of these open here, because having like 5 run.ps1 can get very confusing. So this is my client function. It has, as you can see in this configuration, it has some bindings. So it has a HTTP trigger binding, which means that you can call it by HTTP. You can basically browse to it. And then it has a direction and a route. So this is basically says if you browse to my function / prepare takeoff, this will happen. It supports post and get methods, and it has an HTTP response binding, which makes it like it lets me return a response. And we have an orchestration starter or an orchestration client. This is the thing that will actually start our orchestration. So that's it. That's the configuration for a client. And then we have the prepare client takeoff. It's really simple. It says using namespace system.net, and then it takes a parameter of a request and some trigger metadata. And then I'm just saying the function name is orchestration function takeoff. I just commented out that line and remove it. And then I am starting a new orchestration of the orchestration prepare takeoff. And then that will give me an instance ID. So that will give me like a runtime ID of that job. I will output that using right host, and then I will create a response, which uses this built-in Azure Functions command called new orchestration check status response. And then I will push an output binding, just reply to the browser saying, I've started this job, here is the ID, and here is some addresses you can use to check status and so on. So nothing too fancy about that. And then we have the orchestration takeoff. So this is the part where things are happening. It takes a context. That's just like the information about what has been, how it was triggered. And then it will, I just hard-coded some configuration in here, and I'm going to update that to make it easier to play with today. So my car currently has 22 degrees inside. So I'm going to set the comfort temperature to 17 degrees, way too cold. But we'll see. Max cooling threshold should be 20, and timeout minutes should be 5. So this is just some settings to tell the function of when it should do what. And oh, hi, give so I'm building an orchestration for my Tesla Model 3, and the plan here is to, whenever I trigger this prepare takeoff, I will start or control the climate in the car. So the first problem I have when it's really warm or really cold, especially when it's really cold outside, I can start the defrost in the car. It will use like, I don't know, maybe 6 kilowatts or something, a lot of electricity to warm the car. And the car gets like reasonably warm within 3 or 4 minutes. And then it will keep on warming on max effect until I turn it off. And first off, turning the warming off or turning on is a bit of a hassle, because you have to take up your phone. You have to start the app. You have to wait for like between 10 and maybe 90 seconds until the app will connect to the car. And then I can go into the climate, and then I can start the max temperature. Not too much of a hassle, but still a little bit of hassle. And then it will warm. And then I go get my daughter, and we'll try to get our clothes off, and we forget something. And like before you know it, 30 minutes has passed, or maybe an hour, and we never went to the car, or we never went somewhere. And the car has been just standing on the parking lot and just blowing maximum heat. So that consumes a lot of my electricity, and I don't have a charger at my parking space, so that's a problem. So I want the car, or like I want my automation to heat up the car to a certain degree. If it's cold outside, heat up the car to a certain degree, and then go down to some kind of comfort heating and just keep that heat on until this timeout is reached. And after the timeout is reached, it will just turn everything back off again. So if I start this and something happens and I never actually go away from the car, then it should just turn it off after a certain time. 5 minutes is a bit low. That'll probably be like 20 minutes or 30 minutes in real life, but while I'm playing around and trying to build this, I'm gonna keep it at a short timeout just to make sure it works and so on. So that's the first thing. The second thing is if I'm charging. So when you charge your Tesla, the charge port is locked. So when you go up to the car, you need to either go into the car and press like stop charging and then unlock on your car screen, or you have to bring up your phone and go into like charging, stop charging, and unlock charge port. And then it takes like 1 or 2 minutes. If you don't unplug the car, it will lock again. So I can't really unlock the charge port when I leave the office and expect it to be unlocked when I get to the car. And when I get to the car, like taking up the phone, maybe I have like bags in my hands and stuff, I would just prefer not to do that. So I'm thinking if I can just trigger this prepare takeoff, the climate will start, it will unlock the charger, and everything will be ready for me to just unplug the cord, step into the car and drive away. That's the plan. And hopefully I will be able to build this physical button with a computer in it that connects to my Wi-Fi at home, and I can have this button at the door. So whenever I'm about to go somewhere, I can just press the button and the car will just prepare. And if it's really hot outside, the car will cool down. If it's really cold outside, the car will heat up, and so on. So that's the plan. So here's some configuration. And I will start by calling an activity function called action get charge state. So this one is just a simple action get charge state like this. So this just calls the get charge state. And the reason why I'm doing it like this is because Azure Function, the orchestration engine I'm using to run this, they will actually run this code over and over and over and over and over again. That it will save the result from all these activity functions I invoke. So it will know that it has already executed this one, and it will cache the answer. So that way, if I don't call any like real code in here, but I do all my real like external calls in some kind of activity function, that way the orchestration engine will cache the result back to me. And that way I can have long-running functions, because it will just wake up, run through everything until it comes to some kind of sleep or halt or something, and then it will just shut down. And I don't need to pay for the compute or the server while it's not actually running. Super good, super cheap. So first we're going to just check if the battery level is lesser than 25, and that is 25%. If it's lower than 25, we'll just say charge state too low, and then we'll stop. I'm thinking we might know if we're charging, we want to keep charging since we have such low charge state. So if we have below 25%, we'll just bail out. Then we'll do another invoke activity function. That's the action climate state, which is climate state, this one. And that just gets the climate state. So that will give us like the temperature in the car and outside of the car and so on. And then we check if the outside temperature is lesser than the defrost threshold, which is 1 degree Celsius. So if it's freezing outside, we will do something. And then we will do defrost active equals this thingy. So we need to create this action start defrost because I don't have that here. So I think there is a function create, I think, yeah. So we need to create a function. It should be a durable functions activity, and it should be called, nope, say action start max cooling. Here we go. So that gave us this thingy that should look just like this one, and we'll copy this script file config. There we go. Put that here, and we'll just take the name from here and put that in there. And we're gonna rename this part like this. Nice and tidy. All right, and then in here I want to call, so let's import module my Tesla, get command my module my Tesla. So these are the commands I have in my Tesla module, and I don't remember which one to start Tesla defrost. That's the one. Let's import that module here too to get intelligence. No, that didn't want to. I wonder what happened with my terminal. What if I do this? And F8. That worked. Somewhat. Let's restart this and see what happened. Yes, I want a new one. Better. Let's import the module. And that should give us some intelligence here. Awesome. So we don't need to set the ID because the ID is already cached in the context. So if I do like import Tesla context here, and I do get Tesla context, we can see, I think there should be a value. So get Tesla vehicle. So these are all the Tesla vehicles I have on my account, and I can do select Tesla vehicle dash ID, select like that, and then we do get Tesla context again. There we go. So now I have my current vehicle ID cached, and that will always do that. So I'm going to export my context again. Tesla context. So that will just save this to a file. So whenever I restart PowerShell, I will have that information saved. And when I run this in Azure Function later, there will be here a profile script that runs, and it will have these like an access token and a vehicle ID configured as environment variables, and we will convert the access token to a secure string, and we will do connect Tesla and select vehicle. So we will set up the context that way. All right, so that should start the calling. This should probably return something. Where were we? Action, start max cooling. So I wonder if let's do import Tesla context here and do start Tesla defrost. I think that returns like a status or some result. So this will take a while because my car is currently asleep. So it will need to wake up the car and send a wake up call and then wait for the car to wake up. But it should, yep. So result true. Result equals start Tesla defrost. Pipe select object expand property result, right? Result. Whoops. So let's quote that for some nicer colors. And then we'll say if $, or actually we can just return result. Return results. There we go. Yeah, I could send a honk call. There's a command for that. Invoke Tesla horn. Let's do that because it's fun. I don't think it takes any arguments. So this will just say beep. And by the way, hello coding after work and welcome. That took an awful long time. Yeah. I hope I didn't wake up any neighbors. So let's start cooling, and then we see the target temperature difference. So my idea here is to have a target difference that I will look for. So I will take the target difference and I will add that to the comfort temperature. So if my comfort temperature is 17, I will just add this difference and say go 5 degrees past that. Then I will start a durable timer for my standard sleep interval times 5. So that'll be 25 seconds. No, sorry, 1 second. So 5 seconds. Okay, if the outside temperature is not lesser than, well, not freezing, we will check if the inside temperature is greater than the max cooling threshold, which should be 20 degrees. And then we should set the max heating active to this thingy. We need to create a new function. Oops. It should be in action. Durable. Durable function activity. Here we go. And it should be called Ah, sorry, I did the wrong one. So one should be called defrost and one should be called cooling. All right, so this one should be defrost. That's here. And let's copy the name here and do, oops, script file should be this. There we go. And then we should be able to do that. So this one starts the defrost and this should start the max cooling. Let's also, I think I actually have my Tesla app here. Let's have a look at it. Here we go. So this is my phone, and here's the climate settings. Just let it update a little bit. It's very slow today. We did start the defrost, so it should be running. Hopefully. Let's try this. Get Tesla climate state. So let's see, is climate on true? Inside temperature 27, almost 29 degrees. All right. Let's restart this app. It seems like it doesn't work. Let's try again. Start. Here we go. So here we can see that it starts the defrost here and full heating. It didn't turn on the heater. We probably want the seat heater to turn on as well. So let's just turn off the climate so we don't run out of battery. And I think there should be a get command. Here we go. Start. Set Tesla seat heater. That's the one we want. So seat should be the driver's seat. And the level should be 3. That should be enough. And I'm not sure if that returns something or if we even should care about it, because if it fails to start the seat heater, it doesn't really matter. So we'll just run that and it'll go as it goes. Cool. Cabin comfort remote settings not enabled. Ooh, interesting. I wonder if that is because, yeah, I don't have my climate on. I wonder if I should add that. So if I start to see, they should also turn on the climate. Oh well, we'll have to work on that another time. I think we're happy with that. And then we have the, oops, I'm in the wrong file again. This one should be in the defrost. There we go. And here's the copy. this should be max cooling. So here we had like start, I think we need to do like start Tesla climate. There's also a set Tesla temperature, I think. Set Tesla temperature, there is. Temperature, that doesn't have anything. Here we go, high, low. We want low. So this should just turn everything to max cooling. Let's get the up here and see. Yep, so this set it to low. And then we need to start Tesla climate. Start and that should turn on the climate. Good. I wonder where we get this. Okay, so I guess it's windscreen heater even though it's 25 degrees inside the cabin. I hope that's a bug in the app. So we turn it back off again. This is what we want to have. So set temp. We got result true. So this should be set temp result. And then we'll just copy that and say start climate result. And that should be start Tesla climate. And then we should return this and that. I don't think I need parentheses there. Let's skip that. So that should be max cooling. This should be max cooling active. There we go. And the temperature diff should be -3, because if we add comfort and -3, that should give us like 3 degrees cooler. Yeah, -3. And then we do a durable timer for 5 seconds right now. And otherwise, we will do comfort climate. So here my plan is to, I just wrote this on my last stream a few weeks ago. The last stream I was coding Tesla stuff on. And then I just commented out everything that wasn't implemented yet, so I knew what to do. So this should be action start comfort climate. I wonder where we get the input. We'll see. So let's create a new function. It should be an activity function, and we should call it start here. And we'll do set Tesla temperature. This should actually be the same as this one. So maybe we shouldn't call this start max cooling. Maybe we should call this start cooling. Ah, well, we'll just keep this. And then we'll do start, where were we? Start comfort climate, this one. And I'll just call this temperature. Temperature. And we'll do temperature. Yeah, that'll be fine. That should be enough. And then we just write the verbal specifier saying temperature is not extreme in any way, and the target temperature difference should be 0. So we should aim for the comfort temperature. So this should just like select mode. And then we should at least do this one. So do a loop and loop call the climate state, and then we need a vehicle state to check for user present, because if I enter the car I want the whole thing to turn off. So let's create a get vehicle state then. Here we go, and we get Tesla V. Why didn't I get IntelliSense for that one? Get Tesla vehicle state. Is user present? Awesome. That is the one we want. Let's go back here and do get vehicle state, and that should be enough. So we can just do like state equals and then return state. I'm not sure if we even need to do the return, but yeah, I guess it's good practice. I don't think we did that in the other. No, this one just calls it. Maybe I should. Here we go. Let's do the same here. There we go. So then we have the get vehicle state and we have the climate state. Then we'll check if user is present, and if inside temperature if the inside temperature minus the comfort climate is greater than the temperature diff. So let's say it's 30 degrees in the car and the comfort temperature is 20 degrees, then the difference is 10. I think we're gonna turn this logic around. So let's say if let's say if we have the comfort climate put to 20 degrees and the target temperature diff is -3 when we are cooling. That means yeah, that doesn't work. So we should probably take the climate temperature, current temperature, sorry, my brain isn't working. So I want my comfort climate, right? And I will add my target temperature diff. So if I have a comfort climate on 20 degrees and I add my difference of -3, that will be 17 degrees. So that's what I'm aiming at. Problem is, I don't know if it's going to be below or above, because that depends if I'm heating or cooling. There should be a smart way to just so if this one is 20 degrees and that is 23 degrees, then it's -3. And if greater than -3, still not working. Yeah, I'll have to give that a thought and come up with something smart. But at least the comfort climate plus my target difference, that is my actual target. So I can't set it to equal because it goes, if it goes past that number, yeah, I'll have to do something smart. I don't know what that is though. Let's comment on that. Maybe we should do this. If target temperature diff is lesser than 0, then we are cooling. All right. Oh, Lars F74, thank you for following. If vehicle climate dot inside temperature is greater than target temperature diff. Okay, so actually we want to have the inside temperature minus the comfort temperature. So if it's 20 degrees inside and the comfort temperature is 20 degrees, then we actually want it to be lesser than the target temperature diff. So if it's more than 3 degrees colder, then we set it off to be then we need to do comfort temperature. Or actually, if it's greater than, we'll just keep on going. We'll do this. So let's go up and do the loop over again. Something like that. Target temperature diff greater than 0. Sure, we're defrosting. If vehicle climate dot inside temp minus comfort temperature is lesser than target temperature diff, we will continue. Awesome. Yep. All right, so if you get here, then we need to set the comfort temperature to 0. No, the target temperature diff. Sorry. So set this to 0, like we did up here in this thingy. And then we'll copy this, I guess. So we'll just do comfort climate. There. And then we'll calculate time passed. Yep. Let's just write verbose message. Time passed is... I hope this isn't refreshed. We'll see. Something like this. And then until user present or min is greater than this. And then we need to start the loop with a start durable. There should be like a durable timer. There is. Yeah, so this means we probably don't need to start a timer in here, to be honest. Let's remove that. And let's do a timer in the loop here instead. Start durable timer duration. And we probably want to do something. Yeah, that works. All right, and if we get down here, we either have user present or we have timeouts. So if not user present, then we'll do Action stop climate. Yeah, that should be enough. So we need a new action. Create function. Activity. Stop climate. And we should have stop Tesla climate. Don't think we have. Nope. I think that is enough. Yeah, we should probably do like result. Something like that. And I'm not sure if we should return anything here. Yeah, let's return done. I really like this GitHub Copilot. It has a lot of interesting suggestions, but these comments were really cool. All right, see if it works. Let's start Azurite. So Azurite is Azure Storage. Azure Storage Emulator. There we go. And then we should be able to just do func start. And hopefully that will start up a local Azure Functions instance. That didn't work. No permit to define the script function for the input binding name. Oh, yeah, I probably have some old. That's why. So first, let's just check this and we send the input as temperature. I think this should work. At least I hope so. So let's do Azurite clean. That should empty all the things from previous runs, and we can do func start again. No, it shouldn't do anything. Azurite. Let's clean the queue service. Cannot clean service. Ah, okay, I need to stop it first, maybe. Azurite. Close. Okay, come on, stop it. That is stopped. We should be able to close the storage service. Cannot clean server. Queue services. Yeah, makes sense. So let's Yeah, now it's closed, and then we should be able to clean it. Unlink. That's this one. Okay. Clean. I wonder if I can delete these folders. It should be working. I hope. Yeah. Failed delete. Yeah, sure. See what happens. Let's start up an admin prompt. Here we go. Make it a bit bigger. Oops. Maybe not that big. To cd Tesla service. There we go. Let's try to do this. Recursive force. Okay, that didn't work. Individual permission not permitted. Azure. Clean, close. Close queue service. Okay, let's close the whole thing down. Do a new admin prompt. Make sure we can close this one too. Go into here, cd into my Tesla service. Oh, that worked. Awesome. Delete this one. Cursive force. Good. And let's delete the table too, just to make sure. See if we blew something up. It's a new window. Let's cd into Tesla service. This one. And open up a code window here. And do func start. Also need to start Azure. 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 Start. Come on. Hopefully it started. We'll see. Doesn't look too bright. Here we go, installing What? Don't care about Terraform right now. Starting, come on, start up. Okay, at least it starts up, but we get a worker failed. No parameter defined in the script or function for the input binding. Oh, I know what it's. Of course, it's the action. Start comfort climate. Here we have a temperature parameter. We also need to set that in here, of course. Name it temperature. See if we can do this again. Make sure we saved everything. That's a lot better. Okay, so now we have a function service running locally on my computer. And I hope it doesn't bark a bunch of red. It's good. Nope, that's good. So now we can browse to this prepare takeoff. That should open in your browser. It's cut on the other screen. Let's bring it in here. So we browse this. In the future, this is going to be an address on the internet and it will require authentication. So this just gives us a status body directly saying like, here is the purchase history delete URI, here's the status query, and so on and so on. So I could take this one and I should be able to browse to it. And that should give me input. Okay, something didn't work. Now let's look at this one. Yeah, lots of red. Let's go through it and see what happened. So we did prepare takeoff client. We started and we did the get charged date. This is the information we got back. And then we do action. And then we got the climate state. This is the climate state. We should have is climate on true and an inside temperature of, whoops. I should probably turn off the climate. That's a bit too cold. And then we get the climate state here. Cannot process argument information temperature. Cannot convert the system collections hash table to type system single. All right, so I'm doing something wrong with the calling. I haven't done this in quite a while. So the problem is here. Let's do a quick Googling. Huh. Manual. Activity functions. Do you please have an example of calling them? Oh, he's just giving a input data, flip it. So in his invoke activity number to binary he calls that as a number, and then he. All right. Fair enough. Even easier. So input should be comfort temperature then. And same thing should be down here. So, and this. Let's see if it works. We should probably stop the whole Azure. Oh, Azure close. Let's see what happens. Let's start them up and run it. Here we go. Let's clear the screen and do a function start. So far, so good. So hopefully the queues are empty and there will be no work to do. Seems like it's working. And let's bring up the app here. So the temperature is not set right now. It's 17 degrees, so it should go into comfort temperature directly. Let's go to this link. So it takes a while. It will wake up the car and get the charge state, and then it will get the climate state. That's the climate state. As you can see, every time it does this, it runs the whole orchestration again. That's why we need to use the activity function so the results are cached. I have a really high delay today. I have to do something about that. When I save something, it takes like, I don't know, 10 seconds before you actually see it happen. So here we go. Ooh. Driver temp setting is still 15. It actually didn't set the temperature. Start comfort climate. Otherwise, it seems to be working. What if we do like write hosts? Temperature. I'm not sure if it will abide by this, but let's do like yellow and we can see it, or magenta maybe. I don't think there was anything else in magenta. Oops. Something like that. Okay. Oh, I probably disposed when I changed the file. Makes sense. Degrees, a little bit too cold. Wonder how cold we can get it. Okay, let's get it started. $9. I wonder how my battery is faring on this. 59%, that's good enough. Temperature set to 17. That didn't work. Output is true. So let's open up a new one and do import Tesla context. Set Tesla temperature 17. So that's apparently not working. I wonder if I need to do like stop Tesla defrost. Stop Tesla climate. So either Tesla's changed something or I've had a bug. I'm quite sure we used this thing before. Okay, so every time I set the temperature, it goes back to max cooling. Oh, my voice is started. No, I don't think something happened, but might be my computer running a bit hot. So it should be working. Let's see. All right, is this better? Better, perfect, thank you. Not sure what happened, but I restarted my audio driver and now it's working again. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so we apparently have a bug in set Tesla temperature. That sucks. I guess we'll have to figure that one out. Although it's almost 20 minutes past 10, so I actually think I'm going to call it a night or day or whatever you call it. But at least so far we have a durable function set up, and it seems to be working. Although the actual Tesla module apparently has a bug, and we need to fix that. So we should probably just let's go to github.com/simonwallin my Tesla. And create an issue. Bug set Tesla temperature always sets temperature too low. Let's make sure that's what's actually happening. Where is my... So let's go into the climate. Let's turn it off. 8 degrees. I can actually chill beer or have cold beer in my car. It's the same temperature as my fridge. So let's make this 18 degrees. And then let's set it, set it to 20. It goes low. It doesn't turn it on. What if I do high? It goes to low. For real. Yeah, that's apparently a bug, and that was not how it worked before. Independent of her values given. calling this and these commands process it. There we go. I guess we have something to do next week on the stream. Let's make sure everything is turned off. Yep, good. So by that, I will go to my office screen, see if that worked. It did work. So thank you very much for tonight, for hanging out with me. It's always fun to have people engaging. And I hope you have a good night, afternoon, day, whatever time it is where you are. And I hope I see you here same time next week. Bye bye.